Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little tutorial on how to draw heads and faces. I'm going to talk you through the way that I personally draw faces. This isn't necessarily how an art teacher would teach you, but this is how I found it best to draw, and also how you can apply that to a 3/4 view as well as the profile view. One of the burdens of learning art is becoming familiar with human anatomy. For me personally, it was actually quite difficult for me to wrap my head around, and I felt it was quite scientific. However, the more you know about anatomy, the more realistic and better your art becomes. This even applies to stylised drawings. When drawing heads and faces, it's quite important to learn what's going on underneath the skin first. What I mean by that is studying the skull. But I will go more into depth into skull anatomy in a future video. Now, let's talk about actually drawing faces. Let's start with how I would personally draw faces, and this applies to every face that I draw, no matter the gender. I always begin by creating construction lines, and I start with a circle. This is to help you determine the size and positioning of the elements of your face. I then draw what I think is the most important construction line. I like to call this the action line of the face, though I'm not sure what its technical term is. This line is to establish a centre of the face and the direction which it is facing. For example, if I were to draw a 3/4 view head, the centre line would be to the 3/4 mark of the circle, and if I were to do a profile view, it would be at the side. You can then use this construction line to determine the angle that the face is looking. I then like to go in and draw a basic jawline to establish the area that I have to work in. And that's typically all I draw for construction lines. Sometimes I like to draw a line through the centre of the circle to determine where the eyes will go. And then occasionally I'll draw ears, but I'll get more into details with ears later. Let's go back to the skulls to show you how the same construction lines work alongside anatomy. It's pretty much the same, right? The same rules apply if I were to be doing a portrait study using a photo reference. Let's take a look at this guy and apply the same construction line rules to their face. Again, we'll start with a circle, an action line, jawline, then eyes and ears. Typically, the nose will be placed at the bottom of the circle, touching the line, and the ears start in line with the eyes and typically end where the nose is. The mouth is then situated in the bottom third of the face. I can now take these construction lines and begin to complete the study. You don't have to get everything placed exactly, but the guidelines do help a lot. Remember that the circle doesn't allow for the skull mass or the hair, so you'll need to build that up around the construction lines. This still applies to different views of the face, Let's take a look at the three-quarter view. Again, it's exactly the same concept and idea. Use the construction lines in the same way, but remembering that this time we are seeing more of the skull. The face becomes more of a 3D object, so the construction lines will curve to allow room for the anatomy underneath. With a bit of practice, you'll be able to draw the head at any angle and even begin to stylise your drawings and create your own characters. I hope you found this video useful, and I will continue this how-to series with more videos in the future. I hope to see you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye!